An East Texas Sheriff's Office is out with a warning about a new, well-organized and rehearsed scam. One that has already victimized a number of people. As KLTV7's Bob Hallmark reports, the Upshur County Sheriff calls this a Bitcoin scam.
Upshur County Sheriff Larry Webb says a new twist on an old scam started in his county about 3 months ago.
It's an elaborate scheme. They keep them on the phone. They tell them that there's some kind of investigation occurring that involves their account. They're wanting them to move their money from an account to a different account.
Well rehearsed and organized, the scammers come off as people known in the community.
They'll identify themselves as part of the government, either a law enforcement agency or a member or an employee of their local bank.
The new twist is where scammers are asking the person to move their money.
These two cases here, they have specifically asked them to move their money to a Bitcoin account.
And sadly, it has worked.
Unfortunately, I've had two of those reports here, and they've been for a substantial amount of money. It's gone. Once you go through that process and you put it in that account, it's gone. We're looking at over $1 million.
Investigators have gotten information from the victims, but as you might expect,
we just start hitting brick walls because they just disappear. The phone numbers don't work anymore, bogus names.
Bottom line, if it sounds shady, it probably is.
Never give out your information to anybody. By no means take any of that money out of your account.
Bob Hallmark, KLTV 7 News.
And Sheriff Webb says the red flag here is that the scammers insist that because an investigation is ongoing, the victim is told not to contact anyone else about that conversation, while the scammers try to keep them on the phone to get personal information requested by the scammer.